rational expression. So before we go any further, first of all, let factor the denominator here, d squared minus d minus 20. So if we factor 20, it's going to be 5 times 4 is a good factor. So if I want, we want to reach this minus 1 here, because minus 5 plus 4 is minus 1. And let's rewrite this expression. 6d divided by d minus 5 plus 1 over d plus 4, and is minus 7d minus 5. But the 7 minus 7d minus 5, let us write in the factors here instead of d squared minus d minus 20. Let me write in the factor d minus 5 and d plus 5. If we are looking now for LCD, so the lower common denominator for each of them is going to be d minus 5 and d plus 5, d minus 5 and d plus 4. Okay, so here is d plus 4. So just let me make this better. So let me rewrite better this number, d minus 5, d plus 4. And now I'm looking to make all of those denominators the same like the lower common denominator. If I'm looking here, d minus 5 is missing d plus 4. And because it's missing d plus 4, I'm going to multiply this denominator with d plus 4. If I multiply denominator with d plus 4, then I multiply a numerator with d plus 4. Now I'm going in the second expression because I want to make all the LCD, all those denominators the same. And here d plus 4, if I'm looking at d plus 4 and if we compare with the lower common denominator, we see here is a different. So here we are going to write a d minus 5 because d minus 5 is missing. If I multiply the denominator, we are multiplying a numerator with d minus 5. And now we are distributing everything here. If we are distributing everything, we're going to have now we're going to have, okay, let me go first, let me distribute 6d squared, and 6d times 4 is a plus 24d. Okay, and now this LCD for all of them is the same, so we can add, those are like fraction, or because of the denominator is the same. So let me write for all of them the denominator d minus 5 and d plus 4. And now here we are adding this one. 1 times d minus 5 is going to be plus d minus 5. But this negative sign is going to multiply every pre-sign in the front of this term, of this polynomial. So minus times plus is minus 7d. And negative times negative is positive 5. And now we can make a little bit more simple this one. We can simplify. And when we simplify, first of all, just let us simplify a denominator. Denominator, when it's in the factor form, is here. Factor form is not a simplified form. So let me simplify. We already know if we are multiplying those two factors, we get d squared minus d minus 20. So I don't have here to do any extra work, minus d minus 20. But here I have 6d squared. I have just one 6d squared. If I'm looking here, I don't have any other d squared. So let me write 6d squared. And I'm looking at like terms. Like terms, we have a 24d plus d is 25d minus 7d is plus 18d. Okay, we have a plus 18d. And we are looking here, minus 5 plus 5, we can simplify this. This is a 0, so 0 we don't have to write. So the simplest form here is a 6d squared plus 18d divided by d squared minus d minus 20.